All right, good morning, everyone. I want to thank everyone first and foremost for joining us today for basic home automation training. My name is Daniel Gonzalez. As you know, I work for Silmar Electronics. I'm part of the Total Solutions team. So we pretty much have just about our hands in just about everything from system design to testing equipment and a few other things like that. But that aside, today we wanted to kind of introduce you guys into one aspect of what we do, which is home automation. Um, and like I said, it's just going to be a quick little summary as to what home automation is and what you guys can do with it and how can you offer it to your hopefully many customers. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So some of the things we're going to go over today include advantages not only to yourself but to your customer. We also want to go over what are some of the conveniences that go along with home automation, as well as how to sell the product. We also want to go over different options for reoccurring revenue for you guys, dealers, and also some added value that Alarm.com, which is one of the very big and strong companies here in the U.S., and they are starting to offer the product overseas as well. So, it might not be offered everywhere right now in the international side, but soon, they will start releasing those dates as to when that will become available for everyone. So let's go ahead and move on to the convenience of home automation. So some of the the major selling point for home automation is indeed convenience. It's it's how to make controlling my home, which has a lot of avenues or a lot of aspects of control, and how do I make it easy. That's one thing that's great about home automation, is that you have one system that you're able to do multiple things with. You're able to adjust your lighting and so on and so forth. So just about every domestic system you can think about, including lights, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, security, blinds, curtains, your audio video equipment, power sockets. I mean, even sprinklers can be automated nowadays. If you consider both the mental and physical effect of controlling all these systems manually on a daily basis, it's no wonder home automation systems are providing such a success, or are succeeding so well in the market right now. So, like I said, just a little recap of what you can do is what you have in front of you. I mean, the options are fairly endless. So to move forward, what's a normal residential application look like? What's included in a residential application? As you can see on the screen, there's almost every aspect of the home can now be controlled, anywhere from, like I said, lighting, which is on and off, simply turning on and off a light switch, or maybe dimming it, or setting a timer, or an occupancy sensor. For your air conditioning, same thing, on or off, or actually adjusting the temperature in the house. Motor controls for like blinds and curtains, and, projector screens, garage doors, opening and closing those. One thing that we're going to go over a little bit more is in the future is about scenes. You can create moods when you're home or away. And like I said, we're going to brush up on a lot of this stuff in detail and a little bit further in the presentation. But another new technology that's come out recently is your appliances. There are appliances that you can control over Wi-Fi, and you can turn it on, turn it off. It can tell you if it had any problems during the run cycle or when it finished. All these things all pretty much equate to having complete control of your entire home with a simple device, either it be a smartphone or a laptop or an iPad, something along those lines. Even the sprinkler systems, I mean, that's my worst job. I hate going outside and having to deal with the sprinklers and putting the ones in the front and remembering 30 minutes later to turn them off, and then put the ones in the back for another 30 minutes, and it ends up being I turn on the ones in the front for an hour, and then remember, and then turn the ones on the back for 20 minutes because I felt bad for leaving the ones in the front on so long. So it's the ability to make the process simple, so that you guys can can give your customers a little bit easier of a day, if you will. Okay. So, and one thing we also want to bring up is, and we'll go over this, like I said, with more detail in a little bit, but the home automation isn't just for home. It can be used for commercial applications as well. It's actually, or at least a lot of our customers use the commercial side probably more than they use the residential side because of the advantages that this home automation can give a business. And once again, we're going to go over that in a little bit. So let's go over the actual individual parts of home automation. Let's start off with lighting control. So lighting control can be anywhere as simple as lighting automation, simple on and off, or lighting control can be timer based. It can be motion based. It can be scene or mood based. It all depends on, I guess, how you do the setup itself. And the GIF to the right gives a little bit of an insight as what I mean by scenes. So let's say, for example, I'm watching a movie. You'll notice that maybe I'll have two of my bulbs in my room dimmed, and then another room being a little bit brighter. And or if I'm party time, all the lights on, full blast, or bedtime, everything's off. That's what they mean by scenes. So you're able to create these scenes depending on your normal life. It can be away, it can be stay, it can be, like it said there, movie, dinner, party. It can be a lot of things, whatever you choose to create. And once again, it's just the simplicity of having the control of your entire home's lights with the flip of a switch, depending on what you're doing at that time, whether you're having dinner or watching a movie. The next aspect of, another aspect of home automation is locks or garage doors. So the advantages of these, as the locks you see to the right, is you're able to pretty much not use the key. So the problem that we present, that a lot of homeowners are presented, and even business owners in this case are presented with keys, is that the key can be copied and duplicated on and on and on. And unfortunately, you never know with a key how that key got duplicated. With the implementation of these smart locks, you're able to assign a code to an individual user. You're able to open them remotely. You're able to change the passwords remotely, and you're able to activate or deactivate a user from your phone. So if you want to take away access to someone because you laid them off, or the cleaning lady wasn't doing a great job, so you found somebody else, you can delete that person's code and give the new person a new code. And it takes away the ability of that person to come back into your property. Like I said, with the conventional key, that person might have made a copy of the key and they still have access to your home, and you wouldn't be any of the wiser. And another big important part, and my wife's the worst with this, is locking the actual door. So it's the convenience of, like I said, knowing that the lock is actually locked and not that the door is just closed and they just walked away. So that happens to me all the time. So this is a great addition to at least my family because I'm able to use it all the time. Another aspect is the thermostat, your HVAC system. These systems are able to use what are called either location-based or trigger-based adjustments to the AC. So starting with the location-based adjustments, one of the greatest features that some of these devices have is what's called geofencing. So, put the theoretical situation out, you have a family of 3, and you can set a 1 or 2 mile radius around your house. And if you're the last person to leave the house and you forget to turn the AC off, the moment you drive past that 2 mile barrier or that geofence that you created around your house, you can create a rule, and that rule is, if I pass that and nobody else that I have in my system is home, then put my air conditioner to 82, or turn it off, whatever setting you have when you're not home. And vice versa, you can activate it once you get into that 2 mile range, so that when you get home, your AC has been running for a couple minutes and you walk into a cool house. Another great part of some of the thermostats is that they also integrate with your alarms and motion detectors. It's very similar to what Nest does with their product, where it's motion based. It sees that somebody's moving around, so it decides to have the AC on. Once the motion is stopped or doesn't see any motion, then it turns the AC up or off. In this case, a lot of people already have motion detectors in their home. So instead of buying a product that pretty much does what your motion detectors at home do, let's integrate with those motion detectors and use them to determine whether you're home or not. And that goes hand in hand with triggered adjustments, either by motion or by leaving a window or door open. I was doing construction in my apartment not so long ago, and the construction guys would always leave my doors open, and my AC would obviously run constantly. So what I did was I created a rule that if the door was left open for more than 10-15 minutes, to shut off the AC, knowing that eventually they were going to complain that it was hot in the apartment and call me, and it was simply just telling them, hey, please close the door. They'd close the door, the AC starts working again. So it's a great way to have control of your entire home. It's a great way of determining, what temperature your thermostat is at, and making sure that you're saving energy, that your lights just aren't on, or in this case, your thermostat or your AC isn't set to a really cold number when nobody's home, and there's really no benefit in having that running at that temperature. The next part we're going to talk about is shade control. Now, this one's a little bit on the higher budget side. Not everybody has the budget for this, but there is a lot of advantages to these systems. Obviously, ease of work. That's why I put it first and foremost, because it's simple. You can open up your blinds from your phone. The next and I think to me, the most important part is being eco-friendly. You can have it so that when your AC is on during the day, the shades are closed so that the sunlight isn't heating up the room prematurely. You can set them to wake you up in the morning, so you can have them open up at a certain time. If you're able to wake up with too much light, you can do that. You can ensure, like I said, that the AC is the biggest part, that carbon footprint. Make sure that the AC is working at its most efficient, and that there's not, the cold air being heated by the sun, or by having a window or a shade open. And that's really the main part about this is, having that control, having the ability to create scenes again instead of with lighting, with natural lighting, having a shade open during the day, to let some light in, maybe in the afternoon versus the morning where the sun might be hitting that window. You can play around with the scene. You can play around with how these shades open or close, not only for aesthetic purposes but also for energy efficiency as well. All right, and like I said, we're going to go over, I said I was going to go over a little bit more about scene control, and I know that's a big question we get. What do you mean by scene control? Or what can you do with scene control? So I've created a little bit of a scenario here, and the scenario is as follows. It's pretty much you're getting ready for your day for work. You're walking out of your house, and you hit the away button on your keypad or your alarm. If you created a scene called away, you can do multiple things, and this is something that I came up with. So I hit away on my panel, and obviously I activate the alarm system in away mode. I'm going to set the system, or whatever, my home automation system as well, into away mode, which does it by itself. I wanted to kind of clarify that. Once you have the alarm activated in away mode, your home automation controller will also be activated in away mode, which will in turn turn off all the lights in the house. You can close all your blinds at the lower level to make sure that nobody can peep into your windows because your son and or daughter or wife left a window or a shade open. You can have it open the garage door for you automatically, so you don't have to worry about pushing that button when you get into your garage. You can turn off all the air conditioners and heaters in the house to make sure that you're not wasting electricity or energy that way. You can also turn off any of your audio and video devices, just in case you left your TV on in the room, or you left TV on in the living room, or you left the radio on accidentally the night before when you're watching a movie. You can turn all that stuff off. You can obviously shut off any appliances like ovens or irons if they're connected to a smart switch or a smart socket to ensure safety. I know I've done it. I've left irons on all the time. It's scary when you get home and see the iron on, and you appreciate that nothing happened, but you wish you were able to do something about it. And home automation is that something. And you're able to obviously activate what's called random lights at night. So I have this in my house. So if I leave and if I leave, let's say I'm away, I usually get home around 5 or 6, but I have my system that if I don't get home around 5 or 6, to just start turning on lights randomly, so it simulates that I'm home. So I turn on my bedroom light and turn on my living room light and then turn off the bedroom light. Just kind of keep people guessing as to whether you're home or not. And that's just added security. And like I said, security and goes hand in hand with home automation. Having people believe you're home is a great security deterrent. Not many people want to break into homes when they think you're there. They definitely want to take advantage of the fact that they don't believe you're there. So with the random lights, you can definitely test that and show them, although you're not home, you know what, there's got to be somebody in there. Lights are being turned on and off in a random way. And that's a great way to implement an away mode or a scene called away. So I hope that kind of clarified a little bit as to what we mean by scene. Obviously, the options are endless. This is just an away scene. You can imagine you can have a home scene or a sleep scene. Like I said, the options are endless. Okay. What are some advantages for the customer itself? The main advantage I would say is security and cost saving. You have like I said, like I was mentioning before, the security aspect of having people guessing as to whether you're home or not. Cost saving in the sense that if I leave something on, I can remotely turn it off, or I can create a timer or an event-based rule that'll turn off that light. Also, being able to control your system remotely with your phone anywhere around the world. A lot of people travel sometimes, or a lot of people have summer homes. So when you have a summer home, you want to make sure that the people that are cleaning your pool or the cleaning lady has access to your house maybe turned off all the lights when she left. And we're human, we all make mistakes, so it's understandable that can happen. That somebody can leave a light on or somebody can leave an iron on. Well, it would be great to be able to see that remotely and to take action remotely without having to actually be there or call somebody to go there. And another thing I want to talk about is the fact that the systems have gotten a lot easier, not only for the installer but for the customer as well. All these, as you can see on the bottom, most of the systems are wireless nowadays when it comes to home automation. So they use the standards either Z-Wave, Zigbee, or Wi-Fi. Usually those are the three that you're going to see nowadays. Before, you were running RS-232, and there was 5 million wires running from one room to the other, and it was a lot more cumbersome, if you will. Well, with wireless being so strong nowadays, you can see that it just makes the installation cleaner for the end user and easier for the dealer. And obviously the flexibility and convenience that it has. The flexibility in I can just about control any aspect of my home, and that goes hand in hand with convenience as well. So to move forward, what are some advantages for the dealer? Because we got to talk about that as well. We got to make sure that every product. So one of the biggest parts that we see, advantages to you guys, the dealers, is that the customer becomes a little more loyal. They no longer see you as the $40 a month monitoring fee that they pay. They see you more now as a service provider, where they're paying the X amount of money for the alarm being monitored, but now it's integrated with their home. Now their home is controlled to their alarm. Now it no longer becomes that monitoring fee. It becomes this convenience fee. It becomes this this fee where I'm charging you this just because you're able to control your entire house from your phone, something you were never able to do before, something they've probably only heard of or seen on TV, but never thought that you as the dealer can provide for them. You as the dealer can install for them, and you as a dealer can continue monitoring and help them if they have any problems. You can connects the house and your services to their hand as well as yours. Obviously that goes in kind of hand in hand with what's coming up next, which says remote administration. If the customer says, oh man, I can't get to make this scene, I want a scene that when I'm not home it does X, Y, and Z. Well, being that everything's pretty much on the network or wireless, you can go ahead and remote in with your phone or with your app and do the scene for the customer. And that's just added value. That goes back to the first point, which is increasing customer loyalty. If the customer sees that you're pretty much helping them from 5 or 10 miles away, you don't have to charge them for a truck roll. You can just charge them for a service, a little service fee, or have that included with their service contract. However you guys want to manage that. Like I said, you're able to give them an added value that they probably never had before or never thought was possible. And the last part was talked about in the prior slide as well, but it's still valid for the dealers. And I've been in the installation side, being that I have the technical background, and one of the things that I hated the most was running wires, because there's so much that can go wrong. Cable management becomes an issue. There's a lot of problems that present themselves in a wired system that are fairly non-existent in a wireless system. And the same thing applies here. You have Z-Wave, which is already UL listed and is becoming greatly accepted amongst the industry. Zigbee, which is another means of transmitting these wireless signals, and Wi-Fi, which we all know and love. And the advantages of all of them are obviously there's no wires. Z-Wave has an added value, which is that it creates a mesh network. So the way Z-Wave works is anytime you connect a powered Z-Wave device, and not a battery-powered Z-Wave device, if not an actual, something you plug into the wall and it constantly has power, that Z-Wave device will not only become a light switch or a socket that you can control remotely, but it also becomes a repeater, like I said, like a mesh network. So you're able to implement these in extremely big homes or businesses without the worry of like Wi-Fi. Is the signal going to get there? Am I going to have to repeat that signal? With Z-Wave, I would say, if you're concerned, sell more Z-Wave. The more power Z-Wave devices you have in a home, the more likely you are to have great signal and always communicate to your devices. Okay. So we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about how to sell home automation to your customers. The key points. What are a lot of people worried about? And like I said, my wife's going to kill me if she listens to this, but it goes in hand with, did I leave my AC on? Or did somebody that lives in my house, in my example, did my wife leave my AC at 70 degrees on a Monday morning? Did I close my garage door? I don't remember. I drove off. Those tasks become something that we do so many times in our lives that we can no longer remember whether we closed our door or we closed our garage. Or the last one is, if you have kids, is extremely important. Did they get home? At what time did they get home? Did they bring anybody home with them? That kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that a lot of homeowners are worried about, or problems that they encounter on their day-to-day lives, and that can be solved with home automation. Uncertainty in things of the past. So they were like, man, I've had a home automation, but it was all through RS-232, and that so many wires all through my house. I hated it. Well, guess what? Technology has caught up with the times, and we can give you this home automation. That's wireless. You don't have to worry about the wiring. And obviously marketing. Your customer needs to know that you sell it. Make sure that that you create a package. If you do monitoring that includes home automation, even if it's just one free light switch. You know what? We'll include one light switch. Let them try it out. And I guarantee you that just that one light bulb or that one light switch will entice them so much that they would want to call you back, and they're going to want to, they're going to want you to come back and install it in their entire house. And like I said, like I said, that goes hand in hand with what I just said before, and the uncertainty of the past. The great part about Z-Wave is if you installed one light, it's just literally going out with the products and continuing the installation. It's not like you're going to need another module. You're not going to need another, transmitter or anything like that. That stuff is all dead. Just, go out there and start replacing more light sockets, or start installing more thermostats, or, putting more, more switches and that kind of stuff, and you're on your way again, and the customer is just as happy. And the last thing is offer the options and find what is the hot topic. Start from there. Ask them. They might have a little problem that they're having. Like I said, less worries up top. I didn't mention sprinklers. That was something that to me has always sounded in my brain. I used to hate that that the sprinklers were on longer than they should have been, because that's money out of my pocket for electricity, and that's not even going into the eco problems that you can encounter. I know that electricity is fairly inexpensive here in the U.S., but I know that in some of the Caribbean islands it's extremely expensive. So I think the average American probably pays about $100 to $150 a month, and just by maybe dimming one light, or by remembering to turn off your AC for a day, or setting those scenes, that can save you tons and tons of money. I mean, it can save you on average in the U.S. $20 to $30 a month. That's a lot of money, and that's U.S. prices. I know that, like I said before, it's more expensive for you guys over there, so the savings are that much more. So, like I said, find out what's their problem. Find out what's pressing their buttons, and offer them an option that'll help with those problems that they're encountering. And like I said, just start from there. Just fix that one issue and let them know, hey, I can also fix these other issues. You might not be interested in fixing them right now, but just want to let you know that your system is capable of doing these things. And you never know. The customer might call you back and say, sure, my wife now uses, her app all the time, and now she says she wants to turn on and off the lights. There you go. You got your foot in the door again, and you have another sale. Okay? So obviously, what are some options for recurring revenue for you guys? Like I said before, you can charge a service fee. Anytime a customer wants to add a scene, or anytime a customer wants to do kind of any little adjustment to the system, you can charge a service fee, or charge a service fee up front and include those services in that fee. Like I said, alarm.com isn't available in everywhere in all the countries right now, but it soon will be. And some of the advantages of alarm.com is that you're able to control all your devices from a SimGo application on your phone. You're able to turn on your alarm. You're able to see any of the cameras that you have connected to that alarm. You're able to turn on and off lights. You're able to open and close your garage door. You're able to do just about anything you can think of from one single application. It just makes the home automation process a lot neater when everything's controlled from one platform. Alarm.com does charge a reoccurring fee a month, but you can add to that reoccurring fee whatever you want. So let's say every alarm.com plan is different, but just to put a number out there, let's say the monthly plan per customer is, I don't know, $15. You can turn around and give it to your end customer for $30. So you just doubled. You paid for the alarm.com monitoring, and you made $15 as well. Okay. So like I said, there's a lot of ways that you guys can offer this to your customers, and it's not only just like a camera system that you offer to them and that's it, you're gone. No, it's gonna allow you to continue making monthly income from these customers as well. Okay, which is great in any aspect of it. So let's move into how you can sell this to your commercial customers. This is like I said, this is some of our customers. This is all they do. They integrate, instead of the home, they offer it for their customers, their commercial customers, and the commercial customers love it. So what are some of the problems that businesses are faced with that home automation can help with? So what about late openings and early closings, or extended breaks? So the employees are not opening up on time, they're closing early, and they're taking long breaks. This is one problem that a lot of businesses face, and it can be fixed with home automation. We'll go over a little bit as to how that can happen. Access by unauthorized users. It goes again with the key. situation that I said before. Like I said, that key can be duplicated however many times somebody wants to duplicate the key. The problem is that you never know who was the person who, who began the duplication process of the key, and there's really no way of stopping it. It's pretty much like a virus. It explodes after that. Accessed at unauthorized times. So, okay, fine, I gave my manager a key. That doesn't mean I want him there at midnight with his girlfriend because he wants to show off his desk or whatever the case is. You need to make sure that the person is there when they have to be there, and when they don't have to be there, they're not there. And this will help. Also, wasted energy is a huge problem with businesses. Leaving the air conditioning running, again, leaving the lights on. That's a huge problem for a business, because that's just overhead that they can save and maybe use for something else. What about if you forget to close up at night? You walked out, or you trust that your employee is going to lock up behind you, and unfortunately they didn't. Like I said, it can happen. Any of this can happen. These are real situations, real problems that a lot of customers face. And the last one is can't be on location all the time. Of course, the owner of the business might have 4 or 5 locations, and he can't be in all 4 or 5 of those locations at the same time. Well, technically he can nowadays, with just including some home automation in these businesses. So let's talk about controlling access. Okay, so controlling access to the business. I have 2 examples here of what the dashboard looks like for alarm.com. You'll notice that there's pretty much 3 locations: home office, west branch, and east storage. You can set the system, obviously, to tell you, or to at least expect when someone should open or close those offices. You can see on the first one where it says home office to the left, to the image to the left, on the right of home office is armed away. So that's the current status. The current status of the alarm is armed away. They opened at 8:55, which was fine. The business might have opened at 9. But they closed at 4:41, means they armed the alarm at 4:41. So you're going to get an alert saying that the person closed the store earlier than, say, 5 o'clock. Okay. Look at West Branch. Also, system is armed away right now. They opened late. They opened at 9:33, and they closed at 8:21, which was fine, I guess, to them. And the last one, East Storage, is disarmed. They opened at 8:47, which was fine before 9 o'clock, but as of right now, the system is not closed. You can imagine that just clicking on that disarmed logo will give you the option to arm that system, even though you're not there. So once again, if the person forgot to lock up, whatever the case is, you can remotely arm the alarm and make sure that your business is safe. And that's the security side. But to the right, you can see the energy side. Same thing, home office, north studio, whatever the case is, you're able to see what the temperature of the location is, and by knowing what your hours are, you can adjust the thermostat depending on if somebody's there or somebody's not there. You can turn off the thermostat. You can do quite a few things, like I said, remotely without having to be there. And another great feature with home automation is push notifications. So XYZ business opened late. You're going to get a push notification of that. XYZ business had an early close. They closed up early on such date, and this is the time. The last one is warehouse door was left open. I want to let you know that, somebody left your warehouse door open. Maybe they're planning on coming back at a later time and stealing. So you can go ahead and call the right person, or arm the alarm, or go yourself and close the door. Whatever the case is, at least you're properly notified about what's happening in your own business. Okay. Controlling access. User codes. Like I said before with the example of the cleaning lady, I can assign each and every one of my employees a user code, their own individual user code. I can schedule them. I can tell them you're only allowed to come in at certain schedules, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m., and that's it. If you try coming in on a Sunday or on a Saturday or before 5 or after 8, the door's not going to open, and you're going to get a notification that somebody tried opening the door as well. And then also interior doors. This is a little different than homes. A lot of people don't care about interior doors being secured in a home, but in a business they do. What if that interior door leads to a medicine cabinet, or leads to merchandise, locked merchandise? You can do the same thing we talked about before. You can set specific user codes for that specific door. You can set specific schedules for that specific door and only let specific people come into that specific door. So it's pretty much access control on your door. Okay? And obviously the last part is remote access. Being able to arm and disarm all of your sites, all of your partitions, open and close all your locks in your business, view video from any part of the business, any cameras you might have, and also adjust the thermostat in any location in your business, all from one app on your phone. Okay. To go over a little bit about the locks, you can pair all these locks either with a Z-Wave or Zigbee signal. Again, what I mentioned before of not having to run cables or not having to do any of that stuff. This is all wireless. Okay. You have an audit history. Like I said, you're able to find out who came in at what time, what code they used. Remote locking. When you're not there, let's lock the door. Somebody must have forgotten. I don't have to go over there and lock the door. I can do it from the comfort of my remote. And obviously, I think the most important part here is real-time notifications. Being able to know when something is occurring on the spot for a business is priceless. Not finding out the next day when you show up to the business and everything has already taken place. So too late for that. Okay. What about saving energy? What part of the saving energy can a business benefit from? So the thermostat, being able to once again control it remotely. Also local lockout. I know everybody has seen a business that has the AC thermostat with a plastic box on the outside of it. Then of course the plastic box has holes on it, so the thermostat can obviously read the proper temperature. Well, a pencil usually fits inside of one of those holes, and you're able to control the thermostat that way. Well, with this thermostat, you're actually able to disable the actual keys on the thermostat itself. So the keys are not functional. And then it becomes the only way to adjust the thermostat is with the phone. So you can limit who has access to the thermostat, who can adjust the thermostat. That way, like I said, you're able to make sure that the people that are adjusting the thermostat aren't just people that are hot momentarily, they become cold, and they walk outside and they forgot to turn off the AC when they left. Okay. Also, smart away features. You can tell the thermostat, when I'm away, and the panel, the panel is armed at whatever time, be it in the morning for a home or at night for a business, whatever the case is. Make sure that thermostat is set to a proper schedule, or set to a proper setting, should I say. And also, you're able to control the fan independently from the AC. So you're able to, keep air moving in the business. If you have a really good AC and the AC cools down super fast, but then it just kind of turns off and instantly gets hot, but there's just such a big space that there's still cold air just need to be circulated around. You can have the fan on a specific schedule only, which will once again just save the AC from actually having to turn on and cool down the area. Okay. So we're pretty much going to be wrapping up a little bit here. The next section I'm just going to kind of go by because we covered it pretty much already with the home part of it. But just monitoring the activity remotely, you're able to see some suggestions on when to open, when to close, what those mean. You're able to supervise when the alarm is armed or disarmed. You're able to get reports on when the alarm was armed and disarmed, what time, what day. It's really detailed in how you can control your business, and also a summary by location, a summary of what that day, when it was open, when it was closed, when the sensors saw motion a lot, when the certain doors were open, so on and so forth. You're able to completely see that in a site-by-site situation, which for the customer, which is a business owner, is great because you're able to notice when people are coming in and out. You're able to see when the doors are being opened, those maybe restricted doors are being opened, and if they're maybe being abused or opened too many times or even being left open. Okay, and so that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions, I know you guys can post them on the chat. I would be happy to answer them if you have any. I'm probably going to wait 2 or 3 minutes to see if anything comes up. But other than that, for those that don't have any questions, I want to thank you very, very much for attending the webinar. We are going to start having a lot more of these. to help you guys sell, and to help you guys realize that there are more options that you can, that you can work with when it comes to home automation. It's not just home; it's business automation as well. Okay. Let's see what I have here. All right. No, I see that I don't have any questions so far. So, like I said, if you guys have any other, any further questions, please contact your person, and they can definitely put you in contact with myself, and let me know. Yes.
Una pregunta, one question.
Yes. What's the question? This solution proprietary? No. So I guess what you mean by proprietary is it only, is it only can only be used with that what you saw that alarm.com app? I guess it's a yes and no. So that alarm.com app that you're looking at is an actual application made by a company. Like I said, it's not 100% available overseas right now, but the Z-Wave and the Zigbee is not. There's a lot of companies that make products that have those radio technologies built in. For example, Linear is one of the brands that we sell that does Z-Wave technology. We have another product from another company called Lutron. They have their own way of communicating to their devices, but that device connects, the actual main hub connects to your Wi-Fi, so you're able to, to do the opening and closing of the turning on and off of your lights, remotely, all that kind of stuff. So no, it is definitely not proprietary in any way, shape, or form. The Zigbee or the Z-Wave protocol, that's actually pretty open. It's just really finding what the customer needs, and from there going on to, to fitting a system into their needs. Okay, so I hope I answered that question. And I have another one that says, how easy will it be to interface this type of monitoring to an Alexa panel? I'm not familiar with the Alexa panel right now. I can imagine that the integration has to be software based. So if that Alexa panel has some sort of how can I say, some sort of mobile app, and it's able to integrate with Z-Wave devices, then I don't see why not. But a lot of the integration that I'm talking about today can be done with DSC panels. That's really one of the biggest ones. Also, Qualsys makes another panel which is also similar to the DSC Touch, that also is heavy into the integration part. But I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the Alexa panel, so I wouldn't be able to answer that one. I got one more question. It says, does Alarm.com have access in Trinidad and Tobago? Once again, contact your salesperson. They're going to be the one that's really going to know whether your specific territory is available or not. I don't deal too much in the international side, so I know that it's available in the U.S. I know that it's starting to become extremely available overseas. I know that there's a lot of South American countries that already have the ability for it, and that happened overnight. I mean, that happened maybe a month or two ago. So if it's not available right now, give it some time. Express interest to your sales staff so that we can express interest to alarm.com and make them start, get that ball rolling to get that that coverage in your area. Okay, guys? Well, I don't see any more questions, so I hope everyone learned. Yes?
No, 2 more questions.
Oh, there are 2 more questions. Okay, what are they? All right, it says, I have a lot of customers who would like the ability to have their lights garage door interface with smartphone monitoring, but alarm.com is not available in Granada. Is there another option? Okay, so yes, most of the time when it comes to home automation or Z-Wave devices, there has to be a Z-Wave like a control station or a hub, if you will. That hub will come with an application. Okay. For example, Lutron, like I was mentioning before. So Lutron has a hub. That hub connects to your internet, okay? Then that hub, on the other end, connects to all your lights, your garage door opener. I mean, it has the ability to integrate with its own products, with the shades and so on and so forth. And then you're using, instead of the Alarm.com app, you're using that Lutron app. That Lutron app will give you the same features, being able to set scenes, you're able to set moods, you're able to do time-based actions, So yes, there are other ways of doing the home automation that is not alarm.com. Once again, contact your salesperson and kind of give them what you're thinking about or what you want, and we can definitely come up with a solution for you. Okay. And I have one last one. Is there a device that allows the DSC PC1832 to interface with Z-Wave? If I am not mistaken, yes, there is. There is a module that Alarm.com made that is pretty much a wireless, like a radio, but integrated with that radio is also a Z-Wave hub. So you're able to connect, the older DSC panels with this radio, and then now you have the integration of arming and disarming, as well as the lights, the lighting control, stuff like that. Once again, email your salesperson, the exact requirements that you have, and we'll find out what products we can carry, or what we can do for you to make sure you have that integration. All right, Luis, is there any more questions?
No, Danny, no more questions.
No?
No.
All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for keeping me on my toes with the questions. I'm glad you guys were definitely in there paying attention. Like I said, thank you so much, guys, for joining us in this. We want to make this something that that you guys enjoy and that you guys learn from. So, once again, if you have any questions, contact your sales department or your sales associate, and we'll help you as much as we can. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Danny. Bye bye.
Thank you.